completely shutting down a previously unstoppable offense. That was not how I expected that to go. But hey, now the Cowboys are 7-5 with a chance to put a stranglehold on the NFC East. We can have arguments about where the Cowboys fit in with the Saints and the Rams and the Bears later, but they are obviously the best team in this division. The best quarterback on the Giants is Odell Beckham, and Washington's quarterback keep breaking their legs. Now Mark Sanchez and Adrian Peterson are the starting backfield for a football team in 2018 in the NFL. Seriously. So for the Cowboys, there are only two threats now to the NFC East: the Eagles and themselves. The Cowboys have gone a shockingly long time without beating themselves. They haven't lost in a month at all, and now that was to a fraudulent Titans team, but those last 4 games for Dallas have been fantastic, and the most important win from that stretch was not last week against the Saints. It was that 27-20 victory in Philadelphia. Here's why. If the Cowboys win on Sunday at home against the Eagles, the NFC East would be almost impossible to lose. A Cowboys win on Sunday would make the Cowboys 8-5 and the Eagles 6-7. The Cowboys would also maintain the tiebreaker. Even if the Eagles were to win versus the Texans at home and then at Washington, they'd also have to win at the Rams on Sunday Night Football next week. After this hypothetical loss at Dallas this week, losing to the Rams and then beating the Texans and Washington would make the Eagles 8-8. For the Cowboys, 8-8 probably means the division title. As long as Dallas beats the Eagles on Sunday, they could lose at the Colts, they could lose at home to the Bucs and at the Giants, and they could still be 8-8 and winning the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Eagles. Washington is 6-6 and technically still in play also, with winnable but not easy matchups versus the Giants, at the Jags, and at the Titans, and then versus the Eagles to finish out the season. Maybe that's a 2-2 or 3-1 stretch with Alex Smith or even maybe Colt McCoy. Their quarterback is Mark Sanchez. It's over. Now, if the Eagles win this week, oh boy, both teams go to 7-6. The head-to-head tiebreaker is now split, with each team winning the road game, and we start talking about a bunch of other convoluted tiebreakers instead. And that's where weird stuff starts happening. Nobody wants that. So here's the deal. Either beat the Eagles and start printing up your NFC East Championship shirts / one more year of Jason Garrett banners, or lose to the Eagles and hang on for a wild ride for the next few weeks. No pressure, just the whole season hangs in the balance on Sunday. By the way, we should check in on Philly real quick. It's know your opponent after all. The Eagles lost that game to the Cowboys at home a few weeks ago, then went to New Orleans and got demolished. But they've won 2 in a row, so maybe the rest of the league should just be terrified, shaking in their boots. Are the Super Bowl champions making a run? Let's check the box scores here, and oh yeah, they beat Eli Manning and Mark Sanchez. That may have been almost impressive in like 2010. Eli went 10-6 that year, and Mark Sanchez went 11-5, but they were both interception machines that year, largely bailed out by their defenses. So it wasn't even true then, in 2010. It is now 2018. The hell are we doing? Here's the bad news, Cowboys fans, because I've been wrong about 4 of your last 5 games. But I think Dallas wins this one, like by at least a touchdown. I know the Eagles are in desperation mode, which might be a little scary for Cowboys fans waiting for the other shoe to drop at this point, but losing this game just feels extremely improbable at this point. At home, surging while the Eagles are slipping, barely beating significantly worse teams and terrible quarterbacks. I think the Cowboys win this week and pretty much put the NFC East in the bag. My name's Joshua Briscoe. What do you think? What do you think happens this week? Leave it in the comments. And I hope you've enjoyed Know Your Opponent right here, only on Phantom.
What up, everybody? Man, it is great to be back. If you missed it, I was out Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. My wife gave birth to our second child, our second son. His name's Aaron Harold Temkin, and he was born on November 30th, which is not a coincidence. Doing the Cowboys pre- and post-game show, I kind of plotted out based on what her delivery date was, that maybe the day after they play the Saints with 10 days between their next game would be a good time to have that kid. So that's what happened. Thank you to everybody wishing me a congratulations. I appreciate that very much from everybody. Michael Lafferty and Corey Miller, Kerry Teagle, Angelo Martinez, Sam Torres, Barry Griffith, Robert Anchetta. Appreciate you all. Thank you. But we're not here to talk about my kid. who kept me up all night last night, which, God, can't believe a newborn baby would do that. But keep those comments coming. Hit the share button. I'm Ari Temkin, and it's great to be back right here on Showtime. And man, what a day to come back, considering I haven't done a show since this ridiculous performance by this Cowboys defense, which is where I want to start today. I recognize, and shout out to Dahlia and Mike Martinez. They say congratulations. Lunchtime just wasn't the same without Ari. Thank you on the Dallas Cowboys report page. A shout out to all of you watching on the Dallas Cowboys America's team page. Terrence Briscoe. Richie Harold says, Harold Temkin? Harold. Harold. Close, though. Aaron Harold. For my grandfather, who I very much take after. Alex Hernandez says, sorry for your loss. Interesting. Congrats, Marcus Turner, and everybody else. All right. Robert Anchetta says, a newborn, all they do is sleep. This must mean baby is going to be chill later in life. Yeah, all he does is sleep during the day and then stay up at night, which I'm not going to hold it against him yet. It's just been one night here at the house. All right, let's get down to business. Okay, so this is my first show after this unbelievable performance by the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. And I don't think we can sort of underplay just how unbelievable of a performance it was. And look, I realize a lot of you Cowboys fans picked them to win this game, and that's great. And for me, I had to see them play this way defensively against this team for me to believe it. And that's, I don't want to say it was just blind faith from Cowboys fans, but I certainly think in some regards it was. But look, after this win on Thursday, this is a great defense. And this is a great defense that can carry this football team. And like we just saw that Anthony Brown sack where they bring blitzers off the edge. It's more of an aggressive style than we're used to seeing from this team. Certainly that's Chris Richard's influence. They attack you. Their corners, I thought their corners played the best game I've seen them play all year, quite frankly. I talked about last week and leading up to the game, the corners were, the Cowboys' pass defense was 12th in the NFL. So their corners were sort of the redheaded stepchild, if you will, of this defense. And they were physical. The old mentality, and this is the Legion of Boom that Chris Richard has brought to the Dallas Cowboys. But the old mentality of be physical, they're not going to be able to call it every time. And that's what we saw. This was they were physical on the outside with their receivers. And, they certainly called a couple of holds and a couple of penalties on Byron Jones, but for the most part, they let it play. Matt S. on the Phantom YouTube page says, I hope the Cowboys keep that backs against the wall mentality. # why not us? Congrats to their baby. Thank you. Yeah. But look, what I want to say about this game in particular. So, you can go through all of the stats that sort of, this doesn't happen. Like Drew Brees and Sean Payton have never scored 10 points since they've been with the Saints. Like the 10 points that this team put on this Saints offense, the Saints offense, 10 points